So today's topic is on equations of circles. This whole lesson, this whole unit, I shouldn't say lesson. The whole unit we've been doing has been on circles. We start out with the basics, with vocabulary, right? Like what's a radius, what's a diameter, what's a chord, etc. We talked about angles. We did our power theorems last week on segments. So today and tomorrow, we're going to do equations of circles. So we're going to do part of the notes today, and then we're going to do a Delta Math assignment that applies to that part of the notes. And then tomorrow we will do the last few examples, and then I have a worksheet set aside for those type of problems, okay? So, equations of circles. So I have a circle drawn to the right over here. It is in the coordinate plane. The center has the coordinate h comma k. So it's an ordered pair. Maybe it's 3 comma 1. Maybe it's -2 comma 7, etc. And then it has a radius that's r. So everybody see here, here's the center. It has an ordered pair h comma k, and the radius is r. So the equation of the circle looks like this. It goes x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals r squared. This is the equation for a circle.
You say quantity squared?
Quantity squared. Otherwise, you just think it's like x minus with an h, and then the h is only squared. That's why I say that quantity, x minus h, is being squared. See how I have parentheses? Okay, so part of what I would like you to be able to do today, or show me that you can do in your assignment, is if I give you the center as an ordered pair, and I tell you what the radius is, could you write it in this form? We're not multiplying it out. We're not actually squaring it. I'm just asking you to be able to write the equation of the circle written in this form. I know in Algebra 1 you learned to complete the square. We're not doing that. We're just, can you write it in this form? Okay, so let's take a look at my example. So we're going to go back and forth here. Does everybody have this written down first? Okay, so this example, it says find the equation of the circle whose center, this is the center, is 1 comma 5, and the radius is 4. So I'm just going to plug in, which one is my h?
1.
This goes in for h. Which one is my k?
5.
The 5. And then for r, I'm going to plug in 4, because it says the radius is 4. So what I'm going to write, I'm just going to leave it where you can see both of them on the screen here. So I'm going to put a parentheses. I'm going to put x minus, what was my h? 1. So x minus 1 squared plus, okay, y minus 5 squared equals 4 squared.
Is that our answer?
Yep, this is my answer. The other thing that you could do is simplify it a little bit. Okay, because what I could do x minus 1 squared plus y minus 5 squared. What is 4 squared? 16. So I could write it like that. Does everybody understand? You do not have to. I will tell you that. If I were grading it on a worksheet, I wouldn't care if you wrote it either way. Everybody with me? Delta Math is going to want you to actually square it. So they'll want you to put 16 here.
So only square like the equal after.
Just this last part here.
Okay.
And we'll do a practice problem in a little bit here. Yes.
Can I go to the restroom real fast?
Okay. Good. Good. Okay, let's look at my second one here. So it says find the center and the radius. So they're giving me the equation, and I'm going to go backwards. Okay. So what's the center going to be located at? 2 comma.
3.
Now, do you see how it's supposed to be a minus? They're both minuses here, right? If this is a plus 3, what do you think is true about the 3? It's negative. So the center is going to be at 2 comma negative 3. Now, this value at the end is r squared, right? So how do I figure out what just r is? Okay, so r is going to be the square root of 36, and then we're going to actually simplify it. What is the square root of 36? 6. So it says find the center and the radius. So my center is at 2 negative 3, and my radius, I'm not going to type in the square root of 36 in Delta Math. I'm just going to, sorry about that, I'm just going to put 6. Everybody still with me here? Huh? Because you see how it's a plus here. It's supposed to be a minus. So if it's a plus, that means it's going to be negative.
So just change it to negative.
Yes.
So if it's negative, then would it become addition or?
Yeah, because it's supposed to be minus. So two negatives make a positive. That's what makes it a plus.
Okay.
Mhm.
How is the two positive?
Okay, so remember back in the beginning, it's supposed to be x minus h. So like here we said if the center was 1 comma 5, we said it was x minus 1 and then the y minus 5, right?
So it's already negative.
So if it's minus, that means it's a positive number. If it's a plus, that means it's a negative. Okay, so this next one, we're going to graph this circle, this equation. Okay, so the way we do this, we start with the center. The center was where? Okay, can everybody plot 2, -3 for me on the graph? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Everybody okay with, I plotted 2, -3. 2 to the right, 3 down. Okay, now what was the radius? So from this center, not from the origin, from the center, we're going to go up 6, down 6, left 6, right 6. Can we do that? Can we all do that?
Yeah, do we have to mark each one?
Yep. So I'm going to go right 6 first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to go left 6 from the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to go up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to go down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So do you see how I have 4 points here? Do you think we could all now draw a circle? It kind of gives me a rough sketch here. Everybody with me? So I'm going to go like this. I think once you got the, I think it's easier to draw the circle once you have the 4 points.
Yeah, mine doesn't look like a circle.
Mine looks like a circle.
Actually, it does.
Mine's like cubes.
That's what mine looks like.
Let me see.
Let me see yours.
Square.
Yeah, that's what mine looks like. Mine looks like a piece of cereal.
It's kind of like a square with really round edges.
No, this one looks like.
What's yours look like, Cam?
Okay, we good to keep going?
Edges.
So does everybody feel like they could write the equation of a circle, they could identify the center and the radius, and they could graph it so far?
Yeah.
Okay? Let's flip it. I'm going to do one more example, and this is where we're going to stop. This last one, we're going to do the last 4 examples tomorrow. So this says identify the center and the radius of each. So can somebody tell me what my center is going to be?
12, 7. Would be negative 12, negative 7.
Okay, it is actually, you're right, going to be -12, -7, because you see these are two both positive, right? Okay, now it also says to identify the radius. Remember, this 45 represents r squared, right? Okay, hold on one second. So how do I find the radius? What do I have to do? So I'm going to take the square root of that number, 45. Now, is 45 a perfect square? Because the one we just did, it was the square root of 36, which is 6. Okay, so this requires us to reduce. Does 45 have a factor that's a perfect square? And it's 9 times what? 9 times 5 is 45, right? Okay, so what is the square root of 9? So I'm going to write 3, and then I have the square root of 5. So in the assignment, I'm going to pull up Delta Math here in just a minute. But in the assignment, you're going to be doing one of these types of problems. So can you identify the center and the radius if they give you an equation? Can you write the equation if they give you the center and the radius? Or maybe I didn't do one of these, but if they give you the graph, could you tell me the center and the radius? I would hope. Okay, so everybody good on writing this down?
Nice.
Can you wait till I pull up Delta Math real quick? Okay, so what I'm going to do